Oh my goodness. It is already March. I'm still tripping over that. I'm still tripping that it is already. I'm looking for my y'all know I can't stand dry lips. But let's see. It's March. I had to wait till I moisten my lips so I could do that. It is March already, you guys. I mean, good grief. Time is flying by. It is March 5th. I had to look at the date to see actually what day it was in March, but I know it's March. That's crazy to me how fast time is flying. How whew, I know they say when you get older, time flies by. I was just saying this in my private Facebook group, but I told them I really believe that you're going uphill. You know how they say over the hill when you're 50, when you're going uphill, well, when you're past 50, because you're going down the hill, it tends to be faster because you're running. So thank you guys for joining me tonight. I'm doing something a little different, so bear with me. Let's see. Okay, so looks like people are jumping on. Go ahead and throw some pink hearts in the chat so I know that you guys can hear me. So I know that you can hear me and see me clearly. Or you could say, I can hear you, I can see you. Give me some feedback while I get my notes together. All right, give me some feedback, you guys. All right, let's see. Woo. Short bed wash. Okay. Hey, thank you for the pink heart. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And so, if this is your first time tuning in, just know that I'm Myrrie Hayes. I'm affectionately known as the Group Home Queen. And so, normally my discussions are some shape, form, or fashion going to be about the group home industry. So if you are here to communicate about group homes, you're in the right place. Hey, Mahogany, thank you for the pink hearts. I appreciate it. Let's see. Hey, Narda, how you doing? Wow, just wanted to say how beautiful. Well, thank you. Narda, you just be winning me over with these compliments. I appreciate it. I really, really do. And so I'm just amazed at how fast time is going, you guys. Everything that's going on in the world, good or bad, however you look at it, time is flying. And things are, I saw that comment. Hey, you got a ring? No, I'm just playing. Somebody said, marry me. What's good? So, yeah. So, time is flying by. We are going through some trying times. And so I figured let's take the attention off of what's going on in the world and let's do a series. I haven't did a series in a while. Y'all know the last series I did was last year in regards to fear and people not living in fear, not going into the new year living in fear. We had a lot of people release the fear, release the fear. If you done brought fear up in here, get it out of here because we do not want to live in fear. And so I did that series last year. It was I believe it was a 5-part series in one of those long months. And so this time I am going to do a series on truths about group homes. Okay, we're going to talk about group homes and what you need to know. So we're going to talk about some truths this month Every Wednesday, we're going to get on here and we're going to talk it out. And so if you guys have any questions or you guys have any comments, make sure you throw them in the chat. Oh, Gamer Boy. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, it's a cartouche. I got it in Egypt and it says my name. So yeah, I appreciate it. A lot of people, I get a lot of compliments on that. But yeah, I got it in Egypt. And I was thinking about that the other night, how all of that stuff is going on. And I always wanted the opportunity to go to Israel. My mom wanted to get baptized in the Jordan River. And so I had the opportunity before she passed to take her over there. And she got to, get baptized in the Jordan River. We took her, we got to clay up in the Dead Sea, with all the clay and we got to float and all of that. And then look at all that's happening. So it's like they had just opened it up the year that we went for people to travel. And then, we went all over. And now look at everything that's happening over there. And so I was just thinking about that the other night. Not that it has anything to do with group homes, but it does have, what did I tell y'all? Life and business is all together. And so I'm just thankful that I was able to do that because I've been in the group home industry. It has created a lifestyle for me where I have been able to seize those type of opportunities. And so I'm just happy and amazed. And so let's see. I am going to check comments before I get started. Thank you for the pink hearts, Ellen. Let's see. How do you donate? How do you donate to what? Gamer Boy. If you want to donate, you can, I think there's a link up at top. If you want to donate to me, I guess you can go up top. I've never really asked for donations, but hey, go for it. I can always use a donation. I do have a nonprofit, you guys, just to let you know. What we do, we provide products for homeless people that don't have income. And so we provide hygiene products because, as you guys know, my sister was mentally ill, as some of you know, and that was one thing she would neglect when she would go through her episodes. She was the cleanest, smartest person, and she would really neglect her hygiene. And so when we created the nonprofit, that is something that we wanted to do for people that don't have income, for homeless people that, don't have the means. We provide hygiene products. And so let's see. So let me take this last question before I get started. Do your course walk you all the way through to opening and getting your house full? No, short bed wash. Short bed wash. I keep trying to read that. No, it does not. My course actually is for someone who is like, I don't know what to do to get started. It is to get you started on the journey. It is not taking you through licensing, the application, because the thing is, I don't focus on one state, and every state is different. Now, if you're looking for something to totally walk you through, that would be more of my mentorship program where we can assist you through the entire process. The course is just to give you direction on how to get started on the journey. Okay? All right. So, good question to bring up at the beginning. So anyway, tonight, like I said, we're going to be talking about some shocking truths this month on things to do with group homes that people need to know. Okay? I do consultation calls. I do 1 hour consultation calls um, twice a week. Sorry, I was about to say a month. Twice a week on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And the majority of the time, it is people asking me questions in regards to regulations. Okay? It is people asking me that. And so most times when people think about getting into the group home business, you're probably imagining some rewarding, purpose driven career, where you make a difference in people's lives and you want to make an impact. So, how many people out there are like, I want to get into the group home business because I want to make an impact and I want to change people's lives and I want to, have financial stability for my family? So how many people? Anybody out there feel like that? Anybody out there feel like, I know I did. I felt like that. You know? That is how I felt. I wanted to make an impact because my sister was severely mentally ill. And then she came to my assisted living and she passed away. And so I wanted to pivot and I wanted to make an impact dealing with people with mental illness. Okay, so Sharp Bed Wash says, I do. Okay. Hello, glad for you to be here teaching me about having. Oh, okay. So I guess Callie also wanted to. And so that is the majority of the people that get into this. Now, there's a small majority. There's a small minority that only get into this for money, but most people get into it because they want that purpose-driven type of career. And don't get me wrong, all of that is true. All of that is, um, it's a good thing to want to do. But honest to God, being in this group home business for a decade now, there are so many things that people don't tell you when it comes to group homes. I just feel like I feel obligated to go over these things with you guys that are like barriers, that are like things that people don't realize and think about when they start on this journey. So whether you're just getting started or if you're someone who has been already running a group home, I had one of my mentees, she's in Ohio, and she came back and she said, Myrrie, I've been visiting group homes and oh my God, the stuff I'm seeing is not good. And I'm like, yeah, because that's the reality of it. That's the reality. All these group homes out here aren't running correctly. They don't have systems. They don't have a plan. They don't have a budget. They don't have, it's some group homes out here that are just, what I tell y'all, it's the wild, wild west. They out here just doing whatever they want to do. And so that's why I'm here, y'all. That's why I'm here to help you navigate through the challenges that come up in this group home journey. And I'm going to tell you, there will be challenges. Don't you let nobody tell you that this is all peachy keen. Everything is just awesome. And oh, I just make so much money. When I opened my house, all the clients fell from heaven and they filled my beds. It don't happen like that. It doesn't happen like that. Okay. So I want to help you navigate through those challenges. I want to help you to avoid costly mistakes because things in a licensed group home that wouldn't normally cost you can cost you. Okay? They can cost you. And so it just helps to stay ahead of the game. And that is my ultimate goal with you know, having my mentorship program, with having my private Facebook group, with sharing with you guys on YouTube. That is my plan to stay ahead of the game, because I too, like my mentee, have traveled to different states and seen people's group homes. And so that's why I do what I do, because I'm passionate about people having properly ran group homes. All of these, you know, YouTube videos and stuff that I could put in the training and charging money for and all of this, I do this because I want people to know how to properly run a group home. Okay? Short Bed Watch said, how do I get in the private Facebook group? There's links under every video to join the private Facebook group. It should be a link probably under this video, but every video has links under it where you guys can know how you can work with me in different ways, or you can buy a course, or you can, you know, apply to join my mentorship. So yeah, so it should be a link somewhere. If you don't see it on YouTube, I believe Kirby put it on my storyline on my Instagram. He always does that the day of my Wednesday video, my Wednesday live. And so you can always look for it in my story. But that's how you join the private Facebook group. Yeah, so tonight it's like, we're going to get into it a little bit, and we are going to get into it this month. I'm going to come to you with just issues for you to think about these are really things that you can think about as you're going through the journey, or if you're already in it. Because you guys would not believe, I get calls every week from people that have up and running licensed group homes, and they don't know what to do within their group home. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just, I think people are in love with the ideal of having a group home so much that they just open it and they don't even know how to run the group home. I meet people that think they can run a group home and then come back to me later and they're like, can you help me? Either way, it's okay, but I just want people to have functioning, running, correct group homes. And I'm not saying I am the tell-all, I'm the beginning and the end, because that's only God. You know, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, I'm here for it. That's what I'm saying. I'm here for it. And so I get calls every week from people that don't have group homes, people that are in the midst of having group homes. I just brought on a new mentee who old mentor dropped her and just disappeared, I guess. So I get people from all walks that come to me for assistance. And so, hey, Michael. And so, yeah, it is what it is, you guys. So my thing is, if your plan for success is just to get a licensed group home, you know, and hope for the best, just let me get a licensed group home. You know, if that is your plan, I just want a licensed group home, then baby, you are already behind, because there's so much more to having a group home than being licensed. Okay, so tonight we're gonna cover the number one reason that group homes struggle to stay open. Okay, who wants to know about that? Who wants to know what the number one reason is that group homes struggle to stay open? Y'all tell me in the chat while I get some water. Anybody want to know? Money? Nah, it ain't money, Michael. Money's a big one, but it ain't money. It's not money. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you. Y'all want to know what it is? Mahogany raising her hand. What is it, Mahogany? You raising your hand. What is it, Mahogany? Feeling bad. No, it ain't feeling bad. It ain't feeling bad. It ain't even feeling bad, y'all. Them some good answers, though. Them some good knowledge. Yeah, it's on the lines of knowledge. You right, Michael. It's on the lines of knowledge. The number one reason that people struggle to keep their licensed group home open, bam, you hit it on the head, Mahogany. Compliance. Regulations. Regulations are the number one reason why group homes struggle to stay open. Okay? I'm like, it leads not being within regulations leads to compliance, leads to financial loss, leads to forced closures. They will take your license from you. Y'all know I tell y'all the truth. I had a license taken from me. You know why? Because I was out of compliance. I was out of compliance. Even though in my heart, I felt like I knew, I was like, I got to help these people. I got to help these people. And I felt in my heart, the insurance company was telling me, put them out on the street. Put them out on the street. I'm going to tell you, insurance companies will tell you that now on the slide. Put them out. Take them to a shelter. Put them out. Because there is no longer medically necessary. And so me, myself, had a license taken from me. Because I was like, I can't put these delusional people out on the street. It was 3 delusional people. You know? 3 delusional people. And so I tried to house them. I wasn't even getting paid, y'all. I said, you know what? I don't need the money. I just don't want to put them out. These people been with me. So I'm going to house them. I don't want to, I feel like I don't want to be out of regulation. So I'm going to empty out the house and then I'm just going to house them. I'm not going to mix them with nobody else. I'm just going to house them. That's how much those 3 people meant to me. And then I had somebody there to make sure that they were okay. And like I said, I didn't bill a dime. I did not bill because I don't ever want to do anything that's wrong. And in my heart, I felt like I was doing something right. And guess what? They took my license. On that house, not all. But they took my license because guess what? I was out of regulation. I was out of compliance. And so that is the number one reason why group homes struggle is because people don't want to stay up on regulations. You being clueless about a regulation is not an excuse. And because I thought you thinking in your heart you doing something good is not an excuse. Was I upset? Yeah, I was upset. I lost a freaking license. You know? That's $500,000 a year. Basically, that I lost. Not, I'm just giving you numbers. But guess what? I took my punishment because I still knew in my heart putting those 3 delusional people out on the street would have did more harm to them than me losing some money or me losing a license. You may not be in a position to take that hit. You may only have 1 house or 2 houses. You know what I'm saying? So stay within regulations. Stay within compliance. Be compliant, know what your regulations are. Because you saying, well, heck, I didn't know. They don't care. We were just talking about this in the private Facebook group. Don't nobody care about what you going through. Don't nobody care. They didn't care that that my sister used to be SMI and I felt in my heart I was doing what was right. They didn't care. They snatched that doggone license. Yeah, it is about business more so than the field. Yes, because this is a business. That's it. You hit it on the head, Michael. This is a business. Yes, you do have to care. Yes, you do have to care, but you have to care within compliance. So understand that in your group home business, you have to care about people within compliance. Does it hurt my heart when they just recently, somebody that's been with me a long time, think she's been with me over 5 years. They said, we're not going to cover her anymore. Guess what? Do I want to get another license taken and house her? I can't. I can't because I got to think about all the other people that I'm going to touch. Was her husband upset that she was able to just leave out the house and go wherever? Yes, he was upset. But guess what? We had to be compliant. And so you're going to have to think about that in your business. What does the regulation say? And that's how you have to move. You can't base it on feeling. Y'all know I'm a little softy, but that hit me in the gut a little bit, So you got to think about your business. You got to think about its business. Mahogany says, unfortunately, the insurance companies don't care. No, it's strictly business with them. You know what I'm saying? They barely want to pay you on time. But it's strictly business with them. And once they say it's not medically necessary, guess what? You got to let that client go. So yeah, so regulations will give you compliance issues. It will financial loss. I done told y'all. I got fined. They walked in my house and it wasn't a trash liner in one trash pail. That's a $500 fine. They don't care that caregiver forgot to put the trash pail in there. And guess what? A caregiver's an employee. I can't take it out their check. So guess what? I had to write off $500 for one cent trash liner. So stay within your regulations. One, know what your regulations are. That is a big call that I get all the time. That is one of our highest consultation calls. What are the regulations in my state? And you would not believe how many people we pull regulations for and they don't read them. You need to know if you're planning to do a group home, if you're planning to be in this industry over a long period of time, you are going to either have to read the regulations or pay somebody to read them doggone regulations for you. Right now, I pay somebody because I don't have the patience. When I first started, I used to read them myself. Now, I have somebody that I pay to stay up on the regulations, and they do that. And so you have to figure out what, do you got that cousin that went and got her doctorate and they still only paying her $50,000 a year? And she can break them regulations down. Bam, you offer her $55,000 and she be your regulations person. So I'm saying you got to figure out a plan, but you got to stay up on the regulations. That is the number one reason why group home businesses do not that they struggle. So I'm telling you guys, this is stuff they don't tell y'all about. They always make group homes seem so, oh, fairy tale. I opened a group home, the roses were red, and the fairies were floating around, and it was wonderful. No, them regulations are a booger. And the thing is, they can change a regulation. Now, most times, I always tell you guys, if whatever state agency that you're working through, you need to be on their email list. You don't need to be blocking their emails and unsubscribing and all of that. Because guess what? When a new regulation is about to happen or happens, they email and say, this is about to happen, or this is happening, or we're going to have a Zoom about this new thing. You need to be in the know. So you need to be on those email lists. So don't be unsubscribing like people be doing me. Nah. I'm just saying, you need to stay on the list. Okay? Stay on the list. This is what the VA is cutting my regular therapy. Yeah. It happens. So, one of the top questions that we get that have something to do with regulations, because I'm breaking it more down, is how many people can I have in my group home? People call me all the time or book a call, and they want me to automatically know how many people they can have in their group home. Well, guess what? There are many factors that determine that. I just can't know right off the bat how many people, but that is a part of your regulations. You get it? That is a part of the regulations. So state licensing has rules. So it's going to depend. It's going to depend on, you know, how many square footage. It's going to depend on where you're located, what type of home you're doing. It's going to depend on zoning laws. It's going to depend on the bedroom requirements. It's going to depend on fire and safety regulations. Sometimes you got to have sprinklers to have so many people. Sometimes, but that is a part of knowing your regulations. You will know that, hey, in Arizona, each client has to have 60 square foot. Okay? So depending on how many rooms I have, that's how and how much the square footage is, that's how many clients I can have. Then too, you have to go one step further. In this city in Arizona, in Phoenix, I can have 5 clients with no sprinklers in a house with this much square footage, which adds up to 60 square footage per person. Okay? So I'm saying all of that is a part of the regulations. Hey, Hawa. Okay? So you need to find out. How do you find out? You're going to check with your state Department of Health and Human Services, or it may be the Medicare waiver program, or it may be your local zoning laws. I always tell you guys, before you sign any papers on any house, before you rent, before you buy, you need to check zoning. Okay? You need to check zoning. I've just had a few mentees go through getting their house, and guess what? The first house didn't pass zoning. The second house, I think on one of them, didn't pass zoning. So I'm saying, don't just go grab a house and try to throw a group home up. You guys need to take the steps necessary to get to where you're going. And zoning is one of them. And that's one of the first things you need to do, because you cannot just put a group home anywhere now. And people be out there telling y'all this stuff because they've been functioning without doing the right steps. I'm the type of person, I don't want to be looking over my shoulder, or when zoning shows up at one of my houses, I don't want to be like, oh, I didn't know, and then get shut down, because it's happening. It's happening. Okay? So check zoning. Okay? Mentors, consultants are necessary and very much appreciated because there's no way to do it all yourself. Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. And the thing is, when you do get someone, the right person to mentor you, they probably went through it multiple times. And something you might think is minute might be the difference between you actually having a group home and being a dream. So think about that as you're going through your journey. Even if you do it yourself, just make sure you take your time. Stop listening to the noise. Stop listening to these people that think they know everything about everything. I tell y'all all the time, sometimes I don't know about certain areas. So guess what? I got to do my research. I'm not just going to tell you, oh, well, I'm in Buckle Eye, Maryland, you know, on a lake, and I want to do a group. Oh yeah, you can do a group home there, and I ain't checked nothing out. If you trying to hire a consultant or a mentor, and all automatically they know everything about every single place and every type of group home, they probably don't know because it's too much to know. And I will tell you in a minute. I don't know that specifically, but I will do the research on it and I will come back. And it might take some time because I might have to make some calls. I might have to check around, but eventually I come back with the information. But I'm never going to just say everything about group homes, all 50 states, every single county, every type of home is right here. Now, I know my head is big, y'all, but it ain't big enough to hold all of that data. Okay. And so stop listening to these people and then stop listening, especially to the people that say, oh, you can just get a home and put people in it. And you're going to make all this money. Stop. Stop it. So yeah, anyway, back to this. No. So yeah. So there are just things that you need to check on. And so that is like, I just kind of wanted to touch base on the top things that people are always asking me, which is ultimately a regulation, some type of regulation that they need to read. The second highest, because I did it by how many people are doing it, who needs to work in my group home? People are always asking me that. And so I get people all the time that says, yeah, well, a CNA, my cousins are CNAs and they can work. No, you cannot be working in a group home, a certain type, my type of group home, I will say this because there are some, as a CNA. You need to be a certified caregiver or a BHT. A CNA cannot deal with medication, okay? So don't just be believing people when they say stuff. You need to read your regulations. You need to check with your state surveyor. You need to be doing all of these things to make sure you run your houses correctly. And I always tell people here, I don't care what nobody else is doing. I don't care if they have the same type of group home as me. I'm going to do what they tell me to do. When I say they, I'm saying the state, because they're the ones that are going to come out and inspect my home. So I'm going to call them. I'm going to call 3 times. I'm going to ask them the same question 3 times. I'm going to take names and dates and times. So when they come out, if I'm doing something one of them 3 told me to do, guess what? Henry Jones on February the 28th at 2:45 p.m. at this phone number told me to do this. Okay? So that's how my team roll, because they not playing no more, y'all. They not playing about these regulations. So I'm telling you, you need to know for sure who can work in your home. And you find out from the regulations. Don't be finding out from cousin Mary's brother, sister, lover, brother, boyfriend who told you that you could have this. No, regulations. Get it in writing. And so roles that are typically required are direct care staff. These are going to be things like caregivers, support professionals, direct care workers, BHTs, which are behavioral health techs. These are the type of people that can, that they have to have background checks, CPR, first aid, food handlers, stuff like that. Those type of people are going to be the front line in your house. House manager or program supervisor, okay? It's not a requirement in every state that you have a house manager. Here in Arizona, I don't have to have a house manager as a behavioral health home. But an assisted living has to have a certified house manager. They have to go take so many hours in order to get certified to be a house manager. It is a requirement for senior care, but not for behavioral health. And so you have to know this. That's why I'm saying you need to read your regulations. Right? Okay. So moving on. Administrator, owner. Some places they call it different things. But you're going to have certain people like an administrator. That administrator is going to have either credentials, they're going to have experience, they're going to have something. Then you have your nurses, your therapists, people like that. You may, if you're doing behavioral health, like in Arizona, I have to have a licensed behavioral health professional. In Texas, you may have to have a mental health professional. So I'm saying it's going to depend on where you are. So you need to know the regulations in the state. You can't be in Maryland calling your cousin in Florida asking her what to do. Because guess what? Maryland regulations are different than Florida. You can't call from California up to North Dakota and ask because regulations are different. So you have to read specific regulations for the state you're in, the type of group home you're trying to do, you have to read the specific regulations for that. All right. And so how do you find these out? Like I said, your state licensing agency, whatever that is, it's not always the Department of Health. Here in Arizona, they have the Arizona Department of Health Services that does oversight on specific homes. Then they have DDD, Department of Developmentally Disabled. Y'all know I can't never say that. But yeah, so they have that, which is different, DES. So I'm saying you have to know exactly what type. That's why I always tell y'all, you can't ask me a general question about group homes because it depends on a lot. And so you have to narrow it down to what you're actually looking for and then read the regulations on that. Okay? All right. And so there are things that you want to do. So I would say, like, I like to give examples. So I just wrote down an example because I was working with someone in Texas. Texas group homes serving individuals with disabilities must have a resident ratio of at least 1-4. Okay? And all staff must complete 40 hours of state approved training. Now, here in Arizona, I'm saying this because I just had a new employee going through orientation, and she's like, I've never worked in a group home where it was just me. It's always been at least 2 of us. And I said, well, according to regulations and my policies and procedures, you can have 1 to 8 people in a group home. And so we have 1 to 8 or 1 to 5, depending on which group home you're in. And she was like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. Yeah, because you have to read your regulations. And so, yeah. So Another question that we get, this is question number 3. Top third question that we get. What services are covered by the daily rate in the group home? Because in most states, the majority, there is a daily rate that you receive for taking care of clients, for offering residential services. I'll put it that way, in a group home, because you could be taking care of clients as home care too. So things that are typically included in the daily rate is the housing, utilities, basic daily, care, like you may have to assist them with ADLs. Y'all know what those are. Bathing, dressing, toileting, that type of thing. Supervision and safety monitoring, meal preparation and nutrition, medication management, and transportation. Those are things that are typically included. Okay, so you have states that you can do other services and bill for them. Then you have states where everything is included. Arizona is one of those states that everything is included when it comes to behavioral health. I cannot take my clients to a daycare program. Okay, so a day program. I didn't mean to say daycare, but a day program. I cannot take my clients to a day program. I have to teach them life skills within the group home. Okay. But there are states that you can offer different services. So you can do counsel, you can charge for counseling, therapy, psychiatry, skilled nursing, all kinds of things. You can also, there are also some group homes where you don't even really have to provide recreational or social activities. It's not included. The client has to cover it. In behavioral health, in my type of group home, I have to cover everything. I have to cover pretty much everything. I can send them out to their psych doctor. They can go see a PCP outside the house, but as far as counseling, any type of, like I used to do equine therapy, we had to cut back on it, but I used to do equine therapy. All of that was a part of the daily rate because it was something I wanted to offer. The Medicaid would not cover it, but I wanted them to have it, and so I had to pay it out of pocket. And so these are things that you have to find out in your regulations, because some states you can bill for extra things. And that's what people don't be understanding. They think all this extra, oh, we just going to bill for that. No, you will go to jail for Medicaid fraud. There are people in jail right now for Medicaid fraud. So I'm laughing, but I'm being for real. So you have to know your regulations so you can know this is what this rate includes. This is what it does not. Okay? Or I can actually have a home care business that provides services within my group home and charge and bill for it. Or I'm over here in Arizona and everything is in this pot. Okay? So you have to know this, and that is where regulations come in. All right. So so you need to search your state's Medicaid waiver handbook, fee schedule. It might be a fee for schedule program. They have rate sheets. They have home community based service fee schedules, all of that. You have to know what is required in your state. Okay, let me stop right now. I need some water. While I'm drinking my water, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, make sure you subscribe. And if you haven't liked this video, y'all know I'm giving y'all heat tonight. Go ahead and like my video. Like my video, okay? You should not be on here watching if you have not liked my video. Thank you. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Because this right here, this month, I'm about to be on one because I am getting so many people booking calls, and they're in this, they have this idealistic fantasy type thing going on about group homes. And I just want you guys to know the reality of it. Like, you really, really have to understand, not only know the regulations, but understand them. And if you don't understand, you need to reach out to somebody and say, hey, I don't understand this. Can y'all break this down to me? Because I want to make sure that my home is in compliance. Because it's a lot. It's a lot. I'm just telling you guys, it is a lot. It is a lot that you have to maintain with just the clients, with billing, with regulations, with it's a lot. And like I always say, I don't want to discourage anyone, but I want you guys to know the reality of it and not be thinking that it's all, y'all seeing me on the other side of 10 years. It's like if I was working out. If I'm working out at the beginning and I'm 300 pounds, which I was 305 pounds. If I'm working out at the beginning and y'all see me working out, it's different than when you see me 10 years later after working out. You know what I'm saying? It's different. So you seeing my lifestyle now and seeing me now is different than when you get started. When you get started, you looking like, I want to live her life. No, baby. I've been doing this thing for 10 years, okay? So that's why I'm on this side. You starting over here. And you might get a little bit of an advance if you get a mentor. So I'm saying, y'all got to think about it that way. It's not going to be all peaches and creams. So the thing with regulations is you stay within compliance, you stay within the regulations, because at least annually you're going to get inspected. You're going to have some type of survey, some type of inspection. And just know this, you can either prepare for your state inspection, or you can be prepared to explain why you not prepared for your state inspection. And I'm going to tell y'all, you being prepared is a 2-hour conversation. You being unprepared might be a 2-day, 8-hour conversation. I don't want nobody in my group home that long. You know what I'm saying? Especially not the state. So I want to be prepared. My team plans to be prepared because we want them in and out. 2 hours. See you later. See you next year. Thank you for coming. We don't want them staying there 8 hours and saying we'll be back tomorrow. So be prepared. Read your regulations. Okay? And the thing is, they change. Yeah. You be like, oh, you be like, I got this. I got this. And then they be like, it changes. So you always got to be on top of your game, because once you feel leveled, like, all right, it's like surfing. You be on that surfboard like, I got it. Then another big old wave come that you ain't never felt before, and you be on your butt in the water. Yeah, that's how regulations are. That's how the state is. Yeah, Mahogany, you know what I mean. She's a nurse practitioner, so I'm pretty sure she deals with a lot of regulations. Okay? And so they change. What's approved today or what works today may not work tomorrow. Okay? Medicaid funding might change. Billing rules might change. Licensing requires might change. It is constantly evolving. It's constantly changing, you guys. Right now, I was just telling the people in the private Facebook group that I feel the difference already since November. I feel the difference because it's changing. After all that fraud going on in Arizona, they are buckling down. They are changing regulations. They are having meetings. They're charging for everything. And they already tell people when we come out to inspect your home, expect to pay something because they trying to recoup them billions of dollars that they gave away. I say they gave it away because it was no checks and balances. And so whose fault is it that the fraud went on? If somebody's billing $11 million a month for 20 clients, who's at fault? Yeah, the crook and access. But anyway, don't get me on my soapbox. I'm on my soapbox, y'all. I'm trying to balance because it's about to change. So I'm saying it keeps changing. So you got to be prepared to roll with the punches. You got to be prepared to move with the waves. You got to be prepared to change. If you are not somebody that likes change, do not get into the group home business because they can change this thing up as much as they want to. Really, it's one time a year, really, until something happens. So now in Arizona, every month we get an email about something because they just had this big old fraud, Medicaid fraud thing. And so they're changing up so much stuff. The system is changing all the time. And they're making you go back in there to refill out stuff because we changed this tab. You need to go back and open your application and redo it over. Yes, now we're having to pay a yearly renewal fee for licensing. Not for licensing, for access credentialing. We were already paying yearly for licensing. And so there are things that are changing. And like I said earlier, ignorance is not an excuse. It's not. Just because you didn't know, don't mean you're not going to get a fine. Just because you didn't know, don't mean they're not going to fail your audit. Just because you didn't know, doesn't mean they're not going to close your house. Take it from somebody who didn't know. They took my license. It's getting real out here, y'all. So I'm saying, knowledge equals profitability. Let me take a drink. When you understand, I like to make notes. Let me drink some water, y'all. When you understand what's covered, understand who has to work in your house, and who you need to hire, how many residents you can house, you can maximize your income while staying compliant. And that's what people don't get. People will come back to me, well, I thought it was more money than that. Well, I thought, this, I thought that. If you know the plan, if you know how to move, you can plan better. So because my business knows the regulations, we can plan better and move better. And it ends up making you more profitable than someone that doesn't. I'll go back to what I said. Tanya, my mentee, she's Myrrie, we going out visiting group homes, and these people have no system set up. They have no plan. They're not doing anything with their clients. Those are examples of people that are not living within regulations. So it's not about, you guys, it's not always about how much money you make. I just talked with a group homeowner. She makes $11,000 per client. That's $4,000 a month more than I make per client. She makes $11,000 per client, and she told me this. She was like, our payroll is $100,000 every 2 weeks. She was like, I don't know what to do. We're losing money. We're spending all the money. So it doesn't matter how much you make per client. What matters is you knowing the regulations, you having a plan, you setting up systems, you building relationships. And that's what makes you a profitable group home. So stop thinking about the money all the time. Stop thinking about that. Get the foundation. What does the regulations say? You know what I'm saying? Get the regulations under your belt. And then you can stand with your pants up. You know what I'm saying? Your pants ain't drooping down. You can feel more secure in what you're doing. You can stand tall. And you could be a profitable, successful group home. So, yeah, it is. It's the wild, wild west out here, y'all. You're welcome, Douglas. I appreciate you. I do. I appreciate you guys. So, like I told you guys, this is going to be a 4-part series. A 4-part series. Let me see. I'm going to call it Shocking Truths About Group Home Businesses. What you need to know. And we're going to be covering this all through March. So you guys make sure you guys meet me here on Wednesdays. Did anybody have any questions before I left? Like I told you guys, you can be a part of the private Facebook group. There should be a link around here somewhere. You can be a part of the private Facebook group. We do share information. We share documents sometimes within there. And it just gives you more access. That's all. Just gives you more access. And then we do have the mentorship program. If you would like to apply for the mentorship program, you can apply. There should be a job form link somewhere around here. Thanks, Mahogany. Look, girl. Hey, are you ready? Miss Mahogany's supposed to be, I'm supposed to be interviewing her this month in the private Facebook group. You ready, Miss Mahogany? You better be ready. Miss Mahogany is one of my mentees who has a functioning group home up and running. She is also a nurse practitioner. Nope, don't be scared. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Oh, girl, you already a star. You already a star. So somebody needs to interview you. But yeah, so like I said, there should be a job form. If you want to just be a part of my email list, there is also a job form for that to stay informed. We send out daily group home gems every day, just information to share with you guys in regards to group homes, because that is my passion. That is my goal, you guys. I don't actively have to work in my group homes now. And so I really needed something to do. And so I enjoy helping other people. I've had much success in the group home industry, and I really, really enjoy helping other people to to launch, to manage, or to scale their group home business. And so that is ultimately what I focus on now. And so I appreciate you guys. If you have not liked this video, you better like this video, or I'm not going to invite you back next week. But if you haven't liked the video, like the video. And y'all know I enjoy this. Thank you guys for showing up for me. Because, like I always say, you know, the most important thing sometimes is just to show up. And so, as I always say, be a blessing to someone else. Good night. Thanks for joining me. Good night.